Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Take Aim Gamescast. I am your host, Scott Mills, the Microsoft/PC
That's the
expert,
best part.
and I am joined by, through audio, remote, Brett Wolf, the PlayStation expert.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, and then I have the Nintendo / a little bit of everything expert, Eric King.
Oh man, you sound terrible, Scott.
Well, nobody
Hello,
else will know
everybody.
that. Only you will. All right. So as you guys can see, we're doing a little different format. We can't be in person, so we're doing this over the internet. And we have a jam-packed episode for all of you today. We're going to be going over the Game Awards nominees. We'll be starting that out. First of all, though, how have you been, Brett?
I've been good. Just playing some games and just trying to get through all this COVID bullshit. And but besides that, I've been pretty good.
I hear you there. Eric, how are you doing?
Playing a lot of 2K and Overwatch. You know how I do.
Oh yeah, I've been doing a little
Oh
bit of 2K
yeah.
lately.
A little bit of COD up in there.
Nice.
I'm a hardcore gamer.
We can see that.
So that's a 2020 game we'll be talking about in a little bit. And I've been doing good myself. Definitely been playing a lot of video games with the whole COVID thing going on. It's been a really good way of spending the time when you can't really go out very much. So let's go ahead and get started here today. Let's roll through this stuff. We got a lot of stuff we want to talk about. I want to go through the Game Awards nominees. The Game Awards show, hosted by Jeff Keighley, will be on Thursday, December 10th. And so I want to go through those nominees first of all. I want to go through some of our predictions and our personal top games of the year. And then I want to go through the results of our fantasy video games draft really quickly.
All right. So what do you want to do first?
So I think first of all, we're going to just go through the nominees for the Game Awards. We're going to focus on the Game Awards. And so I've got up on my screen here so you guys can see the categories. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to say what the nominees are for each category. And if you guys have something to say about one of the games, then chime in. If you
All right. Let me
don't,
ask this.
I'll move on.
Are we going through the bullshit esports crap, or just skip that?
We're going to
skip that shit.
The esports.
And the influencer crap, all that crap.
Yes, we're skipping the esports and influencer. If you
And
guys,
also, I want.
Yeah.
I don't mean to cut you off, Scott. I also want to announce. It's been a little bit over 2 years since we started the channel.
Yeah.
Remember, we started the channel. The week before the Game Awards
in
2018.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 2 years. So I just want to
remember what
recognize.
a disaster it was trying to do that first episode. Oh my god!
I remember we were all. I think we all that morning
We
said,
did like 7 takes of me trying to be the host. And then we're like, let's pass it on to Scott.
But no, it's just crazy though. Like I know we were very consistent for the first 6 months, and then things kind of faded and all of that. But and then life kind of got in the way. But no, I just wanted to applaud the three of us for all just staying friends and still contributing to the channel. So I think that's really cool.
That's right. Yeah, and hopefully we can get back to more of a consistent.
All our subscribers love our content too. So thank you, subscribers.
That's
all
right. Yes.
30 of them.
Yeah, we have a few power users too, like power fans. are super fans of us. So thank you.
Well, I
to
think Jared's a groupie.
And thank you to Sean Mills for
Thank you, Sean Mills and Jared.
watching.
Yeah, well, we're not thanking Nick for participating because that was the most brutal episode I've ever been a part of. But Jared was always a good person with insight, and Sean never he always gave a crap when he came on, and he always tried and participated. So I want to applaud both of them for at least trying and being our friends and being a part of it.
Carrying the show.
Yeah,
pretty much.
They always have good insights and.
But okay, all right. Well, so we want to start with the nominations then. 'Cause I do want to I don't want to keep it too long. I do want to get through our top 5 games.
Yes.
And
we will.
okay, all right.
So
All right, let's get rolling.
We'll go
All right,
quick. We don't have to make a prediction of who's going to win each of these. Just want to go through the nominees, and if you have something to say, like this is a definite yes for me,
who the nominees are, though.
So, we'll start off with Best Debut Game. This is the best debut game created by a new indie studio. So you have Carrion by Phobia Game Studios, Mortal Shell by Cold Symmetry, Raji, an Ancient Epic by Nodding Heads Games, Roki by Polygon Treehouse, and Phasmophobia by Kinetic Games.
So I'm gonna jump
didn't
in.
Catch any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Eric, can you hear Scott?
No, he was super laggy.
Okay, I heard it. I'm watching it on stream. So out of all these games, I only played Mortal Shell. Came out in August. It's like a Dark Souls type of game. I know Jared really enjoyed it. I got through I put maybe 5-10 hours into it. Didn't get really far, but I voted for that because that's the only one I played, and I thought it looked really good for kind of like an indie game and a brand new studio. So I thought it was a good game to check out if you like Soulsborne games, especially those Souls games.
That's cool. And I'll say that the one game I played from these 5 is Phasmophobia a couple of times. And it's a fun little horror spooky game to play with friends. So that's the one that I had voted for this category.
Yeah, I want to see Overwatch, Call of Duty, or
I don't know what
2K
category
on there,
we're on because
best debut game.
I couldn't understand, Scott. Best debut game?
Yeah.
Debut game. What were the nominees?
Look at
Carrion, Mortal Shell, Raji, an Ancient Epic, Roki, and Phasmophobia.
I didn't play any of that shit.
Eric only played 3 games, so until we get to the big categories, he doesn't know.
Yeah,
I played more than 3 games.
Can you join the Twitch stream and then you'll be able to see them?
I don't know what he's saying again.
He said if you join his Twitch stream, you can see. Oh, Scott, you got a Facebook suggestion.
How are you understand it?
Oh, very nice.
Another
You
language.
can see my Facebook notification.
Scott, do you want me to read the nominations for Eric and let him chime in, and then you can talk?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next category is best multiplayer. Nominees are Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Among Us, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, and Valorant.
So I don't really. I like the Animal Crossing a lot, but I don't really consider that to be a multiplayer game. So I would never give that to the to that game. But as far as any of those games go, I would probably say Fall Guys because that thing wasn't big for long, but when it was big, it was one of the bigger games of the year at the time. So, and Warzone was already out before the start of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was out last year.
Yeah, so okay. I wouldn't give that to Warzone, but yeah, I'd probably say Fall Guys for that category.
Okay, Scott, do you want to go over? Okay, Scott.
And Call of Duty Warzone, you have to remember, I think it came out late enough in the year that it wasn't included in the Game Awards last year, so this is where it's going to get its shot for an award.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Fall Guys too because I think Among Us came out last year, or a couple of years ago, and it just kind of like came big because in the summertime some streamer streamed it and people were like obsessed with it. So I'm gonna go with Fall Guys too. I think it helped that it was a PlayStation Plus game, and majority of people that play video games have a PlayStation.
It seemed like Valorant was a really big game too, but
That was only
Unfortunately,
a
I
PC
don't have a
game.
PC. Yeah, I don't have a PC I can play it on, and only so many people play on PCs. So.
All right, cool. See how we're doing this category?
Yes.
Best sports racing game. Nominations are Dirt 5, F1 2020, FIFA 21, NBA 2K21, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Tony
Go ahead,
Hawk.
Eric.
I say
Tony
Tony
Hawk,
Hawk
easy.
as well.
I'd pick
yearly release.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I'm going Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 because I heard they got good reviews. I know Colin Oliva, who did our logo and stuff, he really enjoyed playing that. So that's my nomination too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give it to a yearly release, and 2K sucks just as bad as ever. So.
Yeah, the 2K
Good
and
thing
FIFA
I
didn't
didn't
do
buy it.
enough to differentiate.
All right, Scott. Next. Best sim strategy game. Nominations are Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gears Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, XCOM Chimera Squad.
I don't really have an opinion on this one, Scott.
I'll say, yeah, a lot of these are PC games. I'll say Crusader Kings 3. It's kind of unfortunate that Flight Simulator's on there because it's very different genre from these other 4. But they didn't have enough to fill out best sim games, so they included it with strategy.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have a horse in a race. I can't give my opinion on any of them.
Crusader Kings 3 got very good reviews. I didn't play it personally. I saw some gameplay, though.
Okay. Next. All right. Best family game. There's 6 nominations, and they are Animal Crossing: New Horizons. And Eric, when we go through the categories, you go ahead and just go first, so you can hear me. Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, Minecraft Dungeons, Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Yeah, no, I'd give that one to Animal Crossing for sure. It's a
Yes.
great family game. It's good for the kids too because it teaches them how to manage their money properly. So not a lot of kids know how to do that nowadays. So yeah, that's a good family game. I'll give it to that one.
Very good points, Eric.
Scott, you agree?
Yes.
All right, I agree too because that's a game that Emmy's sister bought. Like she got for her birthday, and she was really into it. So, and she doesn't play video games, so I think it can reach a bunch of a wide variety of people. So
Yep.
I agree. Next, best fighting game. Grand Blue Fantasy versus Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition, One Punch Man: A Hero Nobody Knows, Under Night and Birth X. I don't even know how to say that fucking last thing,
Yeah,
but
don't even
I don't
bother.
think anybody knows who that is.
What-
Okay. All
what
right.
is that?
I didn't play any of them, so no vote from me.
Yeah, same here. I love the One Punch Man anime, though, and I would like to try that game out because I'm sure it's really funny. So
Yeah, I didn't play any of these, so I'm going to skip a vote on that one, too, because I don't play fighting games.
I think Mortal Kombat will probably win, though, because that's always a very popular fighting game. Although Street Fighter also is very popular.
All right, now we're getting into the bigger categories, or the bigger AAA games. This category is called Best Role Playing. The nominees are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, Wasteland 3, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. Eric?
I don't like giving it to remakes, but giving stuff to remakes, but I will give that one to Final Fantasy VII because I was playing the original Final Fantasy. And that game is like a full-on remake, like nothing like the old one. So I'll give it to that one because that was one of my favorite games of the year.
I agree.
Scott?
Final Fantasy VII Remake blew me away this year, and I also played Wasteland 3 a little bit of. And it's a good game, but it does not touch Final Fantasy VII Remake. I want to play Yakuza Like a Dragon. I've heard really good things about that. The other two I haven't had a chance to play, but I've also heard good things about as well.
I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I have a lot more to say about that later on in the show. But I thought it was the best RPG this year. I thought it was a great game, and I kind of agree with Eric that it's hard to kind of give it to a remake, but like, this was like remade from a game that came out 20 years ago.
Yeah, I hate these remakes that are like 10 years later or less than that even, and they're pretty much the same game. Like combat was totally revamped and everything in this game, and
Yeah, it was
half the areas you can't even like tell like it's the same area. You know what I mean? So it's like a whole new game.
I agree. So that was I'll talk about that game more later on. Next category is best action adventure, and for the best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. So keep that in mind. Looking at these nominations. The nominations are Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, The Last of Us Part 2. Eric?
I'd say Ghost of Tsushima.
Scott?
I say
what'd you say was the criteria for this one, actually?
For the best action adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Ghost of Tsushima. That's because you got to traverse all over the place on that game and climbing up those shrines or whatever it was. Traversal in that, and then combat was great in that game. I love the combat in that game. Reminded me a lot of Shadow of Mordor. So
this one I've actually played 4 of the games. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is in a tough spot because it came out in 2019, but came out too late in the year, so it's on this year, and it's just up against some heavy hitters here. Miles Morales and Will of the Wisps are at the top of the traversal and puzzle solving gameplay to me for the year. And Ori and the Will of the Wisps was an excellent game, and I think it deserves to get an award, and I hope it's this one.
All right, so you're picking Ori?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Ghost of Tsushima. Again, I'm gonna talk about this game more as the show goes on. I really enjoyed going through the world. I thought the fast travel was amazing. There's tons of points you can fast travel to. But if you want to take in the scenery, you can. And I like the puzzle solving too. They were pretty good. So and that was the game. I played The Last of Us and Star Wars and Valhalla. So I like that game the most. Okay, moving on.
All right.
Best action, and it says for the best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. And the nominees are Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, Streets of Rage 4. Eric?
What were the first couple again?
Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2 or Neo whatever, and Streets of Rage 4.
Well, I've heard Hades has really good combat, but I haven't actually played it, so I can't vote for that. But I'd probably say out of those would be Doom. Just as good as combat as the first one, and anybody who's played the first one knows that game has great combat.
Scott?
I agree. Doom Eternal is unfortunately the only one of these 5 that I've played, and its action is insanely good. Like, it really pumps you up when you get into those combat encounters. It's challenging and fun to just really fast-paced. I'm really sad that I never get to play Hades this year. It's kind of like Disco Elysium for me last year, where it's like I really wish I had played that game. Got really high reviews. Sean has said that he played it and he loved that game. He really likes the Supergiant Games, the studio that developed it. But Doom Eternal's my pick.
And I'm gonna go with Doom Eternal. I agree with everything you guys said about that game, so that's my pick.
Man, you guys are copying me on everything.
Innovation and accessibility, and these are games that are made to really allow people who might be deaf, blind, have any type of learning disability to really get into the games. The nominees are Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyperroot or Hyperroot, or Hyperdot. Sorry, my apologies. Hyperdot. I can't even read. The Last of Us Part 2 and Watch Dogs Legion. Eric.
Well, I'm not blind or anything, so I can't really give a vote on this one.
If I can butt in, it also would have to go with like a setting like to turn gore off, or like the violence, or like if you have like epileptic seizures, to limit the amount of like strobing effects and collar effects that it's doing.
Well, I don't pay attention for any of that because I like the full experience. So I'll pass on voting on this one.
Okay.
He's not gonna vote on because he doesn't have a disability.
Well, no, I like to have the full experience, so I don't even look into what games you can turn off the violence on and stuff like that.
So you don't go into like the settings and stuff like that and look at it to see.
No, because I'm not looking to turn off the violence. I like the violence.
You like the sex. I like that part.
Sex.
Okay.
All right, Scott. Scott's like almost threw up.
To Grounded. I played also Hyperdot and The Last of Us Part 2. Hyperdot, it's just like you're moving a dot around in a puzzle game where you keep it away from being hit. Really basic game. I don't know why that doesn't have a lot of options. And Last of Us Part 2, I think, is only for mature audiences. I don't think you really like in terms of the
turn off that
accessibility
weed
options,
smoking.
You better be ready for a violent, emotional ride if you're playing that game. So I give it to Grounded.
I'm gonna disagree with you. I picked The Last of Us Part 2. The reason is because of the accessibility options in the game. The settings you can make the game super easy. You can make it for the colorblind. You can change the way that you can view the game. You can it's a bunch of different settings in the game that you wouldn't think of that people might use to help them actually enjoy the game and play the game. I do agree it is like a very mature game, and that's how it's rated by the ESRB. But I think it gives a lot of different settings in there that people can toggle and really make it an experience that they might be able to enjoy, which I think fits the criteria of this category. So I pick as The Last of Us Part 2.
Can you real quick? Can you toggle off the liberal on that game? Is that because that would make that game enjoyable for me?
Best VR AR game. The nominees are Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, The Walking Dead Saints, and Sinners.
I'm gonna say Half-Life on this one.
You didn't even play it.
I heard it had really good reviews, though. So I'm gonna go
it's a
with
game
Half-Life.
that you might want to play. It's a game I might want to check out in the future, but
I think for
I don't really want to spend $400 on a VR just to play one game, though. That's the problem. So,
but probably
like a lot of people are in that boat.
They're probably in your top 5 games.
I agree. I haven't played any of these games, so it's kind of hard for me to make a pick. I know Sean does have an Oculus Quest 2. He hasn't picked up Half-Life Alyx yet to be able to play that. I'm interested to see how Star Wars Squadrons would feel, and Iron Man, and I heard good things about Walking Dead 2, but Half-Life Alyx I've heard the most good things about.
And I played Dreams, but not in VR. So I'm going to abstain because I didn't play any of these games in VR. So I will pass.
Okay. I don't know if do we want to do this one, best community support?
No, best community support.
Okay.
No.
Overwatch.
Do we want to do best mobile game? Yeah, Overwatch is not in best community support.
Yeah. Jeez, Eric, what are you doing over there, dude? What are you like messing around with some aluminum foil or something?
No, I'm throwing stuff away.
Best
Sorry.
indie game. The nominees are Carry On, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer.
I don't know. I didn't do any of those again.
You play Fall Guys.
Yeah,
Well,
unfortunately,
I'm not voting for that. Hades.
I just haven't played enough of these games. Again, for me, Fall Guys is the only one I played. I wish I had played Hades. I've just heard such good things about that. I played the first Spelunky, and it was fun. Not really my cup of tea, though. So I'm guessing Spelunky 2 would be a similar thing. But that's all I have.
Yeah, I'm smelling Hades Game of the Year for Scott with all this hype about it.
I didn't play it, so it won't be.
Did you play Hades Game of the Year? Yeah, that's...
Okay, Brett, did you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't really care.
Let's skip this one.
Yeah,
We'll skip this one. I don't.
yeah, we don't care about games for impact.
Oh, there's my thing. Finally.
Best performance. This is a good one.
All right, best performance. Awarded to individual with voice over acting, motion, or performance capture. Nominees are Ashley Johnson as Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, Laura Bailey as Abby, The Last of Us Part 2, Daisuke Suji as Jin Sakai, Ghost of Tsushima, Logan Cunningham as Hades in Hades, Najee Jeter as Miles Morales, Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Okay, so the problem is with this vote, I don't know if Jin Saki or whatever his name is. I don't know if he's the Japanese version, which is the version I played, and that voice acting was fantastic. So I'm voting for that guy.
That is a good question. I'm not sure if that is for the Japanese dialogue or if that's.
I'm
the
assuming that it's
You gotta
probably.
assume he's Japanese.
Yeah.
I mean, not trying to be
assuming
like.
that's probably the Japanese version.
Okay.
Because that game was a lot better playing in Japanese, but anybody who played in American was cheating themselves on that.
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this to Najee Jeter as Miles Morales. I really enjoyed his voice acting as Spider-Man and the moments in that. I didn't think it was as good of a game as Spider-Man 2018, but I still appreciated the job he did in that. And Last of Us Part 2 wasn't really my favorite game, and those performances were good.
I disagree. I think Ashley Johnson as Ellie deserves this nomination. I thought she did a hell of a job with specific with that one scene with Joel. I think that
what one scene?
When I guess spoilers for people who haven't played the game, even though it's been out for like 6 months. Spoilers. When Joel dies, and Ellie's like breaking down, crying, like being hysterical, going crazy, and obviously she's upset. That's her a father figure to her. So she was my vote. I thought she did the best job. I don't think Jin Sakai or Seiki, whatever. He didn't really show a lot of emotion. I thought Jin was kind of bland as the main character.
Wait, you played the Japanese version? I thought you played English.
I didn't play the English version, but he still was the same character in terms of like his motion capture, and that's part of the criteria of the game. So
but that's
I think
the motion capture isn't voice acting, though.
But that's part of the. It says both for voice over acting, motion, and or performance capture. So I'm sure they put him in a mocap suit to fucking do the movement. So my vote is Ashley Johnson because I think she did a hell of a job, and she deserves to win.
I agree. Ashley Johnson did do a good job, but
I do think she's gonna win.
All right, good. See, I always pick the winners. Next,
I think she'll win too. I think they're gonna win a bunch.
Now these like the one we're coming to like sound and music, and like a lot of these are like tricky because I don't understand the difference between a couple of them.
Yeah, so the audio design
talk about them, but like I just don't understand.
Sound and music is Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, this is best audio design.
Audio design is in sound effects and immersion due to the sound. So Doom Eternal.
Okay, yeah. So nominees are Doom Eternal, Half-Life, Alex, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and The Last of Us Part 2. Eric says Ghost. I'm voting Ghost.
Samurai.
Scott.
I'm gonna give it to Doom Eternal. Here. Or
You're picking Doom?
you know what? I'm gonna give this one to Last of Us Part 2.
I didn't like the music as much
That's
in
my favorite
Doom.
The sound effects
soundtrack.
in that are
but-
very immersive, and it does make
I
you
didn't like it as
feel
much as Doom 1.
like you're part of the world.
Let's go to the next
So I'll
Next
give
one. What's the
that
next
one to Last
category?
of Us.
Rocky. Sorry.
Now, dude, this is the best score in music.
So soundtrack.
And this is where I'm going to give it to. This is the soundtrack, right? Okay. The nominees are Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, The Last of Us Part 2. Eric?
This is a soundtrack, you said?
Yeah, best score in music.
Doom Eternal.
I'm going to. This is a toss-up for me. Ori and the Will of the Wisp and Final Fantasy VII Remake have two of the best soundtracks that I really have ever heard. I've listened to Ori and the Will of the Wisp soundtrack like 10 times at work, like just having it in the background. Literally, I've listened to the whole thing like 10 times. And Final Fantasy
This guy goes to the
VII
gym and
Remake,
listens to Ori and Will of the
I've
Wisps.
also listened to quite a bit. I'm gonna give it to Ori. Or no, I'm gonna give it to Final Fantasy VII Remake because I thought it was cool. You go around collecting the musical tracks as well in that game. So I'll give it to Final Fantasy here.
All right. I am going to give it to let's see. I gotta redo my votes. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give it Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think I enjoyed that. But I agree with Eric's point. He kind of like rejogged my memory. I enjoyed Doom 2016 soundtrack more than Eternal.
Definitely.
And I think Final Fantasy VII Remake was more immersive for me in the game. So I really enjoy it. And plus, I'm kind of like biased like Japanese games like that. So that's my
I
pick.
do like having like the orchestra and stuff like that.
That really sold me. So this is best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
Before
So
you
I'm
read
assuming
these
this is-
off, I'm gonna say Ghost of Tsushima. That's already my vote because this is art. You said
Yes.
art, right?
Yeah, art direction.
Yeah.
I'm going
Because every
I'm
time
going
they
Ghost.
did those, whatever, where he's meditating and stuff, like the art in a lot of those was friggin' amazing. It looked so realistic. So
I'm going Ghost too. Scott, do you want me to read the nominees
I
or?
definitely can see Ghost of Tsushima winning this, but I have to pick Ori again here because for me that's the best like art game that I played with the art design and just the creatures and everything in that game were so amazing. Like meeting like the environment and going through that was very like it got me. Like it was very good.
well, half the time I played Ghost, it seemed like I was just going to like the top of mountaintops and just like checking out the view. Like that game looks so good, so beautiful.
Okay, all right. 3 more categories left, guys. That's it.
Yep.
Nice.
Best narrative for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. 13 Sentinels. I don't know. Aegis Rim. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Ghost of Tsushima. Hades. The Last of Us Part 2. Eric. Best narrative.
Best narrative. I'd like I said, I don't like giving it to remakes, but I'd have to give this one to Final Fantasy because it's the first time I played through that game, and it seemed like it had a great story to it. So I'm gonna go with Final Fantasy.
I'm actually gonna go with The Last of Us Part 2 here. I didn't like some of the themes that they went with, but I will say that a lot of the game that I experienced, I didn't like the gameplay as much as I actually watched on YouTube, like the video of all of the cutscenes in the game without stopping, and it was very engaging just watching like a movie of The Last of Us Part 2 game. So I will give it to Last of Us here.
I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna give. I voted Ghost. I think I'll stick with my vote because I really enjoyed the story about the Japanese samurai versus the Mongolians. I really enjoyed that part. So that's my vote. All right, two more. Best game direction awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. The nominees are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, The Last of Us Part 2. Eric?
Best innovation and design. What were the nominees again?
Jesus Christ. Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Scott smiling, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, The Last of Us Part 2.
I would say I'm going to have to go with Final Fantasy because I thought it was innovative how they changed it so much from the first game and really made it like a brand new game. So I'm going to go Final Fantasy VII.
Scott?
Okay, I'm also picking Final Fantasy here. If I had played Half-Life Alyx, that might be on there just because like it's to date like kind of known as the best VR game, like a VR game done right, like AAA wise, which in terms of innovation is I think really going to hopefully push VR space in the future for what can be done. But
Actually, yeah, I did vote for that one. Now that I think about it, that was the one I voted for.
Okay.
For that same reason. So.
But yeah, Final Fantasy is the one that I played that I just loved the direction they went with that remake and the way that story is going. And I want to play the original Final Fantasy VII just to see the little differences and if the story makes any more sense.
I voted for Ghost. The reason being it's a brand new IP from Sucker Punch Studios, Sucker Punch Productions. That's it, Cyberpunk. I meant Sucker Punch. And a game that does not fit with what they normally do. They were known for like the Sly Cooper games and the infamous games. So I think creating a brand new IP in the form of Ghost and being so well received from a studio not a lot of people think was like that great. That's certainly not on the
I
same
wasn't
level as
expecting
Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica. So I think this IP was such a great. They did such a great job with it for not being known as like a top studio. I think this put them in the upper echelon of Sony first party studios.
I would put that. I would compare that to when Guerrilla Games came out with
Horizon.
Horizon, yeah, because I think it was a very similar situation with that.
Yeah, from Guerrilla working on just pretty much Killzone to bring in a brand new IP, and Sony allowing them to do that. So
killing it.
So this is our final category for the Game Awards of 2020. Obviously, it's going to be the Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. 6 nominees, as usual. The nominees are Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, The Last of Us Part 2. Eric, what's your Game of the Year?
This one's pretty easy for me, Ghost of Tsushima, no doubt.
Scott?
I voted for Final Fantasy VII Remake. That game was just amazing. I love the gameplay. I love the story. And I love the music. It really grabbed me as one of the best games of this generation. For me.
Okay. All right. And then I voted for, you probably tell from my last couple nominees, I voted for Ghost of Tsushima as well. That's my Game of the Year.
Okay. So that's it for the categories. Now, really quickly, the rules for the Game Awards. 90% of the votes are gonna be from the press outlets. So the weighting for which games are gonna win the awards, 90% is coming from the press outlets, and the so-called experts and critics, and 10%.
Did you see they already
coming
announced
from
the game of the year for the
Yes, so I'm gonna go through
players?
that. That's what I'm gonna reveal here next. 10% is from the fan vote, and let's take a look and see what was the game of the year according to the players.
smart players?
Ghost of Tsushima, congratulations! You are the player's voice winner for Game of the Year according to the Game Awards website.
Where's all the Xbox games at? Where's all the Xbox games at, boys?
All right. How many years in a row is that? They didn't
Having
get
a
nominated?
nominee, probably like 4 or 5 years in a row. Xbox hasn't had one.
I wish that Ori was on there. I think it was deserving of being in the Game of the Year.
Maybe next year with Halo.
Maybe.
If it
We'll
even
never know.
releases.
Okay, now next up,
Well, even if it does release, I don't think it's going to be up there.
in terms of games of the year, I want to do a quick update on OpenCritic and go through the top
I love
games
this. Let's do
for
it.
2020 on OpenCritic. So this is aggregating critical scores, and when the games came out, these are the top scores that came out. So Brett, do you want to kind of go through this list? Let's just go through the top 20 because that's what's on the page.
All right, I'll go from the bottom top to the top.
Okay.
I'll go through it really quick. Number 20 was Overcooked All You Can Eat at an 88. 19 was 19 was Final Fantasy VII Remake at an 88. 18 was Mission It's Complicated at 88. 17 was Legends of Runeterra as an 88.
Card game.
16 was Mortal Kombat.
Yep. Sorry.
That's good. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate with an 89. 15 was Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition at an 89. 14 was Doom Eternal at an 89. 13 was Dreams as an 89. 12 was Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition as a 90. 11 was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 at a 90. And 10 was Animal Crossing New Horizons at a 90. And then in the top 9, I already went through the top the first 11.
Yeah.
At 9 was Ori and the Will of the Wisps at 90. 8 was Crusader Kings 3 at a 91. 7 was Cyberpunk 2077, which will be released in 2 days from the time of this recording at 92. 6 was Microsoft Flight Simulator at 92. 5 was Demon's Souls, the 2020 remake at 92. Number 4 was Half-Life Alyx at 92. Number 3 was The Last of Us Part 2 at 93. And then the top 2 were both at 94, and that would be Hades and Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah. Thank you, Brett. So, Persona 5 Royal is up there as one of the top games. I wish it wasn't such a long game to play. I think it would be cool to play. But that's a game that came out a while ago, and I view Royal as more of a remaster than a remake because it's the same gameplay. It's just got a whole extra zone at the end of it kind of added on. So yeah, I think Game of the Year according to OpenCritic is Hades. And because the Game Awards is 90% according to the critics, I think that Hades is going to end up pulling out the Game of the Year at the Game Awards.
Well, I will disagree with that because Red Dead Redemption 2 scored higher than God of War, and God of War did win that year in 2018.
Okay. That is good to know. Yeah. And 1 point. So The Last of Us Part 2, 1 point difference. That's not a lot. It is interesting to note. So 2, 3, and 4.
But I do want to talk about. I do want to talk about. I want the audience to see their final rankings for fantasy video game.
I'll get into that.
All right.
I just wanted to point out that the fan choice for
Damn
Game
it.
of the Year was the lowest
Okay, that's why
rated.
I'm rubbing it
85
in Eric's
was
face.
Ghost of Tsushima was an
All
85
right, we gotta wrap this up.
on OpenCritic.
Come on.
It's the lowest rated.
Come on, get in here.
He's talking to the dogs. So, that's kind of interesting to me that a game that was so lowly on the
That's
OpenCritic
really
was
breaking
a
up for me now.
nomination for Game of the Year.
I can still phone. All right, Scott. Eric said
So,
he doesn't have much time.
okay, so here's the results.
There it is.
The final results of the fantasy video games. We'll
Woo!
go in fourth place was Do It Games from Jared. And unfortunately, 3 of his games did not release this year, with Ghostwire Tokyo, Axiom Verge 2, and Elden Ring. Godfall did not review well. PS5 game there. His best games for Ghost of Tsushima he did have, and Neo 2. In second place was Millsy Not the Games. It really hurt me that I counterpicked Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition that Eric
I
had.
can't believe you counterpicked that.
Minus 19.
Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive
that was
Edition.
a bad counterpick. And I also had 3 games that did not release this year. Dying Light 2 was delayed indefinitely. Overwatch 2 we have no new information on. Baldur's Gate 3 released but in early access, so it doesn't count. The highest scoring game was my first round pick, an Animal Crossing New Horizons. And Wasteland 3 was a very good game as well. In second place was the back-to-back Eric King.
Cancel that. Let's change his team name. What an idiot.
And he had 2 games that did not release this year. The best one right now, and Cyberpunk is still in flux, its critic score because it's coming out in 2 days. It's at a 91 right now. So the 2 games that did not come out, Halo Infinite is delayed indefinitely, and Bravely Default 2, I don't know when that one's supposed to be coming out. And in first place, with a whopping, by over 100 points, a whopping 162 points. Congratulations, rolling with Maserni, Brett Wolf.
Rolling.
You
with
are the
Maserni.
2020 Fantasy Video Games Champion.
And I want to give a little bit of a speech really quick. This is really super quick. This is more directed at Eric, who was really just trying to come off as like the smartest guy in the room from his success in fantasy football, and then winning last year's video. So I just want him to see that score of 162 to 52. No competition as the one with the most knowledge of video game review scores. So we're on with Maserni, man.
Yeah,
Too easy.
congratulations.
Too
Only one
easy.
game below an 80 that you picked, and only one game that did not come out this year, which was Hollow Knight Silk Song, or at least it hasn't come out yet. I don't know if it's still.
Yeah, it won't be out this year.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Let's quickly go through our top 5 games of 2020. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want us to spend a ton of time talking about our top 5 since we are running a little bit low on time here. So I just want each of us really quickly from 5 to 1 when it's your turn to go through your top 5 really quickly and just say like a couple words on each game. But not very much, just like a little bit. So, Eric, do you want to start us off, or do you need some time to think about it?
What was that?
Top 5 games for the year for 2020 that came out in 2020. Do you want to go first? Do you want some more time to?
List.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay,
from
that's
5
1.
to 1 or 1 to
1?
5? What are you doing?
That's 1.
Let's assume Tsushima is 1.
Final Fantasy 2. Probably Doom Eternal. Call of Duty and NBA 2K.
Not even Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, Animal Crossing.
Is that
2K.
4? Animal Crossing's 4?
Animal Crossing at 4, Eric, or Call of Duty at 4?
It's at 3. Animal Crossing is 3 for me.
Animal
Okay.
Crossing at 3, Scott. Doom Eternal at 4.
Yeah, and then
Then
Call of Duty
Cold
5.
War. Cold War. Okay. Do you play the campaign or just multiplayer?
Just multiplayer.
All right. So,
He's playing Overwatch.
Brett.
What can you hear in the background?
Yeah. My top 5 is Ghost of Tsushima is 1. Number 2 is Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Wait for a second, type this in. 3 is The Last of Us Part 2. Four is Astro's Playroom, which is pre-installed on all PS5s, and I thought that was an excellent game to get used to the DualSense, and I got the platinum in that game.
Yeah, I'm
I got
glad
the platinum
you got one
in
there.
4 of these. Yeah, I got platinum in 3 of these 5 games I played, and then 5 is gonna be Demon Souls. Make sure to put the apostrophe Demons. I haven't really played it yet because I'm waiting for Jared to get his PS5 to play it. That me and him always talk about playing all the Soulsborne games together. So, but so far it's been as fun and as innovative as I imagined it to be.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and reveal here my written. Or no, give me Jared's top 5. You said he sent you his top 5.
Yeah,
Right?
I got Jared's top 5.
Okay.
Yep. It's gonna be Doom Eternal is 1.
Okay.
Mortal Shell, Mortal, is number 2. Ghost of Tsushima is 3. And then number 4 is Hunt Showdown. And then Fall Guys is number 5. And Scott, is this being uploaded to YouTube as well?
Yes, I will be uploading this to YouTube as well.
Okay, Jared wanted to know, so I wanted.
Mm-hmm. And I'll go ahead and reveal my top 5. So at number 1, I
Dominic screaming again.
Okay. At number 1, I put Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This was such a hard 1 and 2 for me are right there, like basically equivalent. But I did choose Ori as number 1. Both of these top 2 games would also probably be on my top 5 for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch generation of games. They just happen to hit in the same year. Final Fantasy VII Remake is number 2. Spider-Man Miles Morales is at 3. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout at 4. And indie game that most people probably haven't heard of, Beyond a Steel Sky at 5. That's a sequel to a point-and-click adventure game that came out a long time ago that I happened to play before, and I'm really glad to have gotten to play a sequel to it that they made for the fans that played that original game. You can also play it if you didn't play that original game, but really, I think that it'll be mostly people that knew about that game that are going to be like, oh, yeah, I remember that old game. I'll play this new one. It was a little buggy. And it crashed on me a few times. I played it at release. Hopefully they fixed some of those bugs, but the story-wise and some of the puzzles, I enjoyed playing through it, and it kept me engaged and made me want to play it through to completion. So that's why I wanted to give it a call out and put it at number 5. So that's our top 5. I guess really quickly here, the last thing is if we have any predictions. Any predictions for what we're going to see at the Game Awards show. And then I'll keep a little column for a tally for how many we get right. Eric, do you just want to go
I'm
first?
paying attention. I'm still killing it here.
Eric.
I think Eric's
I
starting.
think we lost Eric.
What did you say, Dominic? Who's got gold? Or do you want to know what gold is at?
I think Eric's quitting because he wants to hang out with fucking Dominic. Shocking. So we don't hang out anymore, Scott? Now you know why?
Okay, so...
Oh, you just beat me on damage.
We can do our predictions here really quick, and then we'll just have Eric not
Can we kick Eric out? Because
I'm
gonna
go ahead and deafen him in the Discord so that he won't be heard. So...
Alright.
Okay. So here's the last part, predictions. I guess you'll do one, and then I'll do one, and then until we don't have ones left. So what's one that you think that we're going to see at the Game Awards? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Oh, sorry. I think I deafened us.
Now I can.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Let me see if I can... Yeah, I don't know how to mute Eric directly, so...
I got both healers back here.
Can you kick him?
There... let's see here. Here we go. Let me see. Okay, I think I just... I put his user volume at 0. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay, good. So we should be good with just the two of us. So, Brett, do you just want to do... we'll just rapid fire these off. Do you want to go first with a prediction? What do you think we'll see there? And we'll just go until we don't have anything else that we can really think of.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about it too far, but I'm not gonna go with the obvious. Like I know BioWare said they're gonna show Dragon Age a little bit. I know the guy that what's his name? He made A Way Out. Joseph Ferris, I think his name is. Okay. He's gonna be there. So I bet you he's a new game he's shown, but those aren't really predictions because they've already been announced.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say you might see a maybe another teaser for God of War, Ragnarok. No, you know what? Hold on. Let's go with I think you're gonna see Elden Ring. I think you're gonna see Elden Ring again at the Game Awards. I think From Software is gonna be ready to show it off. I thought that game was gonna be coming out this spring in 2020 and never came out. Okay. So I think you're gonna see From Software, who showed Sekiro at the Game Awards. I think you're gonna see Elden Ring.
Okay. I'll give you God of War Ragnarok as well.
Sure. Yeah, because I think Cory Barlog, he's not gonna be at the show. I think they might show something just to get people hyped up again for PlayStation.
Okay. I'm going to say I think Microsoft is going to announce Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Oblivion, and Morrowind coming to Game Pass. Because those games currently are not yet on Game Pass. I think they're going to continue adding more Bethesda games, and I think the Elder Scrolls games, a lot of people would like to see those on Game Pass.
Even though they're really old games?
Mm-hmm. Okay, do you have one?
Trying to think what's coming out. Okay. I think you're gonna see Silent Hill be shown. Silent
Ooh.
Hill. Not sure who's gonna make it. I have no idea who's gonna make it,
So
but
not
it's gonna be
Kojima.
a. I don't think it's gonna be Kojima. Um, but I think you know what? It could be Kojima. He's a relationship with Jeff Keighley.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I don't think Kojima wants to be a part of Silent Hill because of Konami. But I do think you'll see Konami there with Silent Hill being a PlayStation exclusive, and it
Okay.
won't be by Kojima. I think if I'm making a prediction on that, Kojima teases his new game.
Okay. So we'll say Silent Hills, and then so a game not Silent Hills, right?
Um, yeah. So yeah, not just a Kojima Productions teaser. Which will be Kojima's studio. But yeah, it won't be Silent Hills because I don't think he's ever going to work with that IP again. I
Okay.
think it'll be a brand new IP. But I do see that IP coming back though for PlayStation.
I'm gonna have like throw a weird one out here. We always seem to see these weird like League of Legends stories games, like these side games. I think we're gonna see a couple of those, like League of Legends. Um, and I think we'll see some release dates for those. And yeah, like you were saying, we can't really say the whole Dragon Age stuff. But you know what? I'm just gonna throw out a weird one and say Baldur's Gate 3 release date. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, I've got another one. I think that we'll see because I think it was at Game Awards last year that we saw the new Hellblade teaser. So I think we'll maybe see gameplay of the new Hellblade 2.
Okay.
Okay, do you have any more? Like
Um,
we'll just say one more. That would make 5 for each of us.
one more. Um, I'm trying to look through all the studios in my head who possibly would be working on something that they would show at the Game Awards. Um, well, I guess Joseph Ferris never did say he's good. No, that's not that shouldn't really count. That's not kind of like an out there prediction, in my opinion. Um, let's go with um. Uh, I guess I'll stick on the PlayStation side again, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't think this is right, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Bloodborne remastered for the PS5,
Oh wow, that would be awesome.
60 frames a second.
By Blue Point Games.
No, no. I think Japan Studio and From Software just kind of got together and um, made this play. I shouldn't even say remaster, but made it play. So the Take remaster. That's not the way I want to rephrase it.
Okay.
I think a Bloodborne upgrade
Okay.
for the PS5, 60 frames a second. Remaster would be like going through the game, making it prettier for the PS5. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people just want to see it be able to be played on, the PS5 at 60 frames a second, which
Yeah.
I think will make the game a lot better to play. So, because I think it's locked at 30, or it just gets as high as 30. I shouldn't even say it's locked because I don't know that for a fact, but that's my last prediction. A lot of PlayStation predictions, but obviously I'm a PlayStation fan, so that's kind of what I want to see.
Yeah. I guess I'll go with the Microsoft predictions like I'm doing, and I'll go with an outlandish one and say we'll see some more news on Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite, a new gameplay trailer for that, and a release window.
Okay.
All right, and that'll do it. So for our episode of the Take Aim Gamescast, so we went for about an hour, which is about our normal. Thank you for anybody who is joining, listening live, or through the YouTube. It'll be posted on there whenever you're watching this. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the Game Awards show on Thursday night. I know that I'll be watching it, and I always love watching games get awards. These studios getting the recognition they deserve for creating awesome, entertaining games for
Hey
us to
Scott,
play.
can I jump in really quick?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sure Eric won't want to do it because he has to work early on Friday. But if he wanted to, I'd do a Discord with you. We could watch it together and give our
Okay.
initial thoughts like we're doing now. And maybe if I think Jared has to work, but if Sean's not working, maybe he'll want to watch it too.
Yeah, I'll go
I'd do
ahead and
that.
ask him.
So and then we can maybe just upload it and give our immediate
Yeah.
reactions and stuff.
Yeah,
I'd be down.
that's a cool idea. So I'll
So, but no,
check
this
with
is
Sean.
yeah. I mean, we don't have to do it. I was just throwing a thought out there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, this is fun. Just kind of
Mhm.
get back into the swing of things and, go from there yet. So, I mean, Eric can join if he wants. We can text him, but he kind of pissed me off today with he came and spent an hour and a half just doing this. So,
Yeah, and he left
all
the
right.
voice channel now. So yeah, thank you everybody. Like our videos, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy listening to this content. If you find this insightful, we appreciate the support, and we'll see you when we stream next. Hopefully, you'll get to see us on Thursday night.
All right. Thanks, Scott. Bye,
Yep.
guys.
Thank you. Bye.